From the local station, News 4 Jax starts now.
The day the sun disappeared. Excitement building across the country as we count down to the Great American Eclipse.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime.
Students and families from across Northeast Florida headed north to the path of totality.
This is something we're going to be able to tell our kids and maybe our grandkids.
I've always been interested in reading something in a textbook and then being able to witness it in real life. And so I think that's important for my kids to see.
We take you live to South Carolina, Oregon, and Wyoming, and cruise across our area, counting down to the eclipse of the century. Good afternoon. Appreciate you joining us. We are live across the country and here at home to bring you a special one-hour edition of News for Jax at noon. Take you right into our special coverage of this once-in-a-lifetime event at 1 this afternoon.
Looking forward to doing that. And right now, you are looking live at Haley, Idaho, Santee, South Carolina, Jacksonville Beach, and Fort Matanzas in St. Johns County. Of course, we are counting down to the Great American Eclipse. There's our countdown clock, Bruce.
2 hours, 45 minutes, and 50 seconds until we reach the maximum at 2:47 here this afternoon in Jacksonville. As I mentioned, this is a special hour-long edition of the news at noon on the Great American Solar Eclipse. Think of the eclipse as the moon's day in the sun.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it, actually. A NASA scientist described this historic event really as Woodstock 200 times over because it's across the entire country.
It's a story that could eclipse all other news. We'll be 1:16 this afternoon when the eclipse begins here in the River City. You want to make sure you catch the eclipse during the peak time. For the best view in Jacksonville, McClenny, Brunswick, and Folkestone, look up around 246, Amelia Island and Stark, 247.
So we posted a list of local spots on news4jax.com and, of course, our WJXT4 Facebook page. And News4Jax has reporters as far away as Wyoming. Look at everybody there ready to bring you this coverage. We're also in South Carolina, where the eclipse is going to be the fullest. It's going to be in the southeast. And we are here close to home in southeast Georgia and St. Johns County.
So we start with Channel 4 meteorologist Rebecca Berry in Santee, South Carolina. Cloud cover's a problem here. How about there in Santee?
It is a big concern here in Santee, South Carolina. You know, they predicted that this would be a hot spot for eclipses based on accessibility and interstates, and the excitement's already building. But the big question mark and the big thing that everyone's really worried about is the cloud cover. And right now it's a little bit sunnier. We are keeping our fingers crossed because people are worried about trying to move at this point based on potential traffic on the interstate and missing the eclipse altogether. And so everyone's watching the skies. We're a little bit worried about cloud cover. The forecast for today did call for 60% cloud cover here in Santee during totality. Right now we're seeing between 40 and 50%. When we were walking around and setting our shot up today, we saw some really cool things. This is actually a Tesla supercharge station. So there are a ton of Tesla vehicles here. They're actually having a Tesla tailgate. So we're one of the very few non-Tesla cars here, and they're getting their power charged up. They have these power charging stations about every 100 miles so that the drivers of these electric cars can, of course, can charge their cars just like we gas up. They stop here and get a little juice and get ready to go. But I'm here with some Jacksonville locals. How are you guys doing?
Good.
And you guys are recent UNF grads.
Yes, in April.
Okay, what made you decide to come to Santee?
We really wanted to see the eclipse. We've been watching it like all year, counting down the days. So we made sure we took off work and were able to get here in time.
And I love your t-shirt.
Thank you.
So
I figured
an eclipse enthusiast.
Yeah, it was appropriate for the occasion.
And what are you looking forward to most of all?
Just everyone's reaction. I know people are really excited about this, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, we're really excited too. Did you guys get glasses?
Yes, we have glasses ready.
Okay, what else are you guys looking forward to, thinking about, getting a little worried about traffic, anything?
Not too much. We're just excited to be here. I brought my camera, so it'll be a fun experience.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And before we go, I want to trade you guys out because I've got some really cool t-shirts to show you. When I saw this, I thought it was so much fun. Come stand right here and look at the camera, and stand right here and look at the camera. Look at these t-shirts, guys. They are awesome, celebrating the eclipse. But there is a mistake on one of them. What happened? It says 2018 right there.
Yeah, Amazon. We ordered the t-shirts from Amazon, but Amazon misprinted one of them. The t-shirt over there is the one that they sent because of the misprint. I actually have a different t-shirt, the one that he's wearing.
And so that's pretty cool. You guys are all the way from New York.
Yes, we are. We're from New Rochelle, New York. Go New Yorkers.
Awesome. Are you excited about the eclipse, buddy?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. And we're going to bring you all the latest in eclipse coverage here from Santee. Fingers crossed for more clear skies. I'm Rebecca Berry reporting live from Santee, South Carolina, Channel 4, the local station.
I think the T-shirt thing is just they're in a different time zone, so that accounts for.
Is that what it is?
I think that's worth gold. That T-shirt's probly worth a little bit more with the misprint, I would think.
He bought it on Amazon. He could sell it on eBay. Hey, Rebecca, I know you have people there from New York and lots of other places. Has anybody said anything about the traffic coming in to where you are?
The traffic has been the great story of this eclipse. It has been not bad at all. I actually had to drive from Charleston, which is about an hour this morning. We went the speed limit the whole way. Traffic hasn't been a concern. There's been a little bit of congestion getting on and off the interstates in some of the smaller towns, but all in all, it has been the success story of the eclipse is the American highway system.
And what's the mood there among the people? Kind of a party atmosphere?
Oh, this is celebratory. Everyone's showing off their solar filters and their zoom lenses. Everyone's got super telescopes. It is really cool. Everyone's mingling and everyone's excited and positive and interacting. It's just a really cool place to be, cool thing to experience.
You know what? It is so nice to see people coming together and just having a good time for a fun and historic cause. Given everything else that's going on in the news, this was much needed. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, guys.
So with thousands of people flocking to South Carolina, as we were just talking to Rebecca, the roads are packed, but it is not quite as bad as many people expected.
Check in with Channel 4's Scott Johnson. You've been talking with the diehard space junkies who are thrilled to be able to actually see an eclipse, a full eclipse.
They're all excited because it was so long ago, no one's really alive who remembers it. Just talked to a guy who's almost 90. He's like, I haven't seen one in my lifetime. He's here, he's excited. Now, I'm not with the biggest crowd right now, but I am with a crowd that's filled with a lot of these. You've got a lot of telescopes, different types of devices, and they're all covered right now because they're trying to keep them cool because essentially they're black and they're not designed to just sit and stare at the sun forever. It heats them up a lot. So you've got a lot of them out here which are just trying to keep cool until the big event when they all start watching it. And I talked to different people who either had professional lenses put on to help with the sun or people who just made it themselves, like one guy from New York. What do you have here? What is this?
It's just a 10 by 70 binoculars with a homemade solar filter on it. And
how did you know to build it like this? Do you look it up? You a scientist yourself?
Well, on my bigger telescope.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even notice that right there.
And then I just prefabbed this one myself. Simple styrofoam sandwich in the solar filter paper and just put some mounting rings on it, and that's it.
And that's it. Don't know how well I'm going to be able to illustrate this, but this is one of the main drags through town. It's a small town, and there is gridlock if you try and get through. You can only see a few cars there in what is a strong line of the main road that goes through Santee, South Carolina. People are here trying to get a spot. All the hotels are booked. There's people on the side of the road selling those glasses that have been so hard to come by where we're from. They had a fair amount this morning I found around the streets here in Santee, better than I actually expected. People trying to get them sold now because in about 2 hours and 2 minutes they'll roughly be worthless. Right after that eclipse is over, you won't need them again for a good long time. So people trying to get them sold off now while they still have them and, well, make a quick buck. We're live in Santee. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
Oh, no, they can hold on to them until 2024.
That's true.
You know, that's not that long. All right, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. A lot of people are celebrating special occasions.
If you remember, you've got them.
You know, Scott, a lot of people are celebrating special occasions today, including you. Happy birthday. So are you getting any birthday celebrations? You know?
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing it? How are you celebrating out there today?
Well, up in the sky right now is how I'm celebrating it. I've honestly been a little creeped out for the last few weeks, realizing that this was on my birthday and thinking, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm hoping it's a good thing, but if you're superstitious, it could really go either way.
We have to talk to an astrologer to find out. You know, whether your Mercury's in retrograde or your moon's in Miami or whatever.
Astronomers, I need an astrologer.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of the two.
All right, Scott, thanks. So if you were listening to Rich all morning long, he was saying the place to be in the Jacksonville area is going to be the beach. I hope you listen to them.
Yeah, and Rich, that is still very much the case right now.
And the radar's proving the point. Look at the line of showers and thunderstorms moving through. I did a push alert for the folks that would be taking maybe a half day and heading out to some of those viewing spots. The beaches, the best chances of being able to check it out. And I'll show you the video here in just our live camera, rather, in just a moment. And we also mentioned Ware County and inland. And you can see there are a few spotty showers, but nothing like the collection that they've had anywhere from Sepulveda southward across the Altamaha here and into Brunswick. It's just since this morning, they've been seeing quite a bit of rainfall here along 17, 95, even out to 82 here, approaching Nahunta and Waycross. So completely rain-free, that's not going to happen, but what we will see will be at least a break or two in those inland areas, allowing you to check out the, oh, that's way too fast, to check out the eclipse. Here we go, about 10 to 12 miles per. Pennant, Glencoe, and Dock Junction, and then into Brunswick here as we get to 1223, as if you need more rainfall. And then inside of the Beltway, and I was watching these via the tower cams, and I tell you what, I'm running short on time, so I'll track these all the way into Palatka coming up. But what I wanted to show you, here's the view of downtown. There's one of the downpours just moving across Arlington, taking aim now at Riverside, and yet here's the beaches. You've got blue skies, so you're going to be looking inland. You'll still have some cloud cover in there, but this is going to be one of the better spots for your viewing of the eclipse, where your temperatures right now are at 88 degrees. I've got more of your forecast as we get ready for the big show coming up in just about 10 minutes. Bruce and Nikki, back to you.
Now, here's Keith Pearson Toyota Time Saver Traffic.
Let's get right to traffic here. I know a lot of you probably heading towards the beaches like Richard said, so that you can catch that solar eclipse. I'm seeing some heavy delays right now. This is along State Road 206 eastbound in St. Johns County as you're traveling into Crescent Beach. So right now you're moving at 9 miles per hour between US 1 all the way over to A1A. A lot of people heading to the Matanzas, Fort Matanzas. I know they're having a lot of events out there for this solar eclipse. So as you are heading over the bridge, and we have some video from a viewer, there is some construction going on heading eastbound, blocking one lane. Can we pull up that video for our viewers? You will see some slow traffic as you're crossing the Matanzas River. There it is, bumper to bumper. You'll need to allow a little bit of extra time, and we will keep you updated with your next Keith Pearson Toyota Time Saver Traffic.
All right, we want to remind you about school dismissal times today. A lot of the schools in our area have adjusted their schedules because of the eclipse.
Baker, Bradford, and Nassau counties releasing students early. For a breakdown of those release times, go to newsforjax.com/eclipse. Meantime, in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Columbia counties, dismissal times are as usual.
And all absences will be excused. Duval County will cancel or move all outdoor activities indoors. They're going to do that between 1 and 4:30, and once again, they will excuse the absences. Well, we have extended the noon news to an hour today. Then from 1 to 4, you can watch our special eclipse coverage.
So eclipse parties are starting to kick off around town. Take you live right now to Fort Matanzas. People are getting ready and waiting for 247 to roll around.
We're going to check in with Ashley Mitchum live. Plus,
Clay County students getting a crash course on how to safely view the eclipse even without the glasses. Who's giving them this advice?
Oh, just kind of showing what's happening.
Okay.
we are getting so close. 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 5 seconds in our countdown to the Great American Eclipse. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be on the air until 4 o'clock today, bringing you special coverage of this incredible and historic event. All right, so some schools are using this as an educational opportunity.
I mean, it only happens once every 100 years, right? Well, it's been 100 years.
It'll be 8. I think, is it 7 or 8, the next one?
Yeah, but I don't know that it's across the entire United States.
It's not.
So
no,
that's what makes this different.
It does.
This one is from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and that's what makes this unique. So some kids are going to get to go outside and watch the eclipse safely, of course. Jennifer's Ashley Harding's at Lake Asbury Elementary School. Oh, I hope the rain doesn't get in the way, but I know a science teacher's got some lesson plans for the kids.
He does, Bruce. I got to tell you, this is really disheartening. This started coming down just about 3-4 minutes ago. We've got our trusty umbrellas, but it's all about fingers crossed right now. But we did get a chance to talk to that gentleman. He used to be the planetarium director. He talked to those kids right now, inside the classrooms. They are making pinhole cameras in their science classes. They're making them out of cereal boxes, shoe boxes, you name it. But take a look at this right here. We got a chance to meet with that gentleman right here. His name is Thomas Weber. He's currently a teacher at Oakleaf High School and former planetarium director at Mosh. Now, he says this is his 5th solar eclipse. He gave these science science students a quick crash course on the solar eclipse, from the totality that we are expected to see to why these happen so infrequently. Best of all, he says this is the perfect teaching opportunity for an educator.
I'm calling it the great first lab that a lot of kids can do to go outside. Nature is giving us this wonderful show that these kids aren't going to have an opportunity to see in Northeast Florida again till 2045. So what a great opportunity for them.
And coming up later on in the show, my colleague Crystal Moyer is going to do a live demonstration to show everyone at home how to make your very own pinhole camera. Hopefully this will be gone by then. We'll be able to see that eclipse perfectly, especially here in Clay County where I am live. Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station.
So right now you're seeing history in the making. What you see right there is the picture from Big Summit Prairie, Oregon, thanks to NASA. The eclipse has officially begun. Now the countdown clock in the left-hand corner there with 2 hours, 28 minutes and about 33 seconds. That's to when we here in Jacksonville reach our peak at 2:47 this afternoon. But look at that, the moon already encroaching on the sun.
Wow, I mean, and it is quite a sight to see. And we know many of you here want to catch that glimpse of the total eclipse, even though it's only going to be about 90% here in our area, as Bruce was mentioning. So where can you go to view it? Because the weather isn't really cooperating with us today.
Yeah, downtown it doesn't look good, Rich.
No, downtown's not the space to be as the showers and the storms continue to pop up. We had these in the forecast, and I have to say that the high-resolution model, and I'll show that to you coming up here in just a second, did a fantastic job of the depiction and the timeline, and it was based on that model data that we were watching this morning and, well, over the weekend, that we were saying, look, you know, for the best chances of seeing it, the beaches are going to be the best spot. It doesn't mean it's going to be rain-free. We'll see some showers here as well, but much less than the collection that continues here into the inland area. So let's go back to where we were when we were visiting here just a moment ago, and that is into the radar and the rainfall that continues. And we'll take this next one offshore, and the reason being it's got some lightning there associated with it, up to about 10, 11 miles an hour or so. Sea Island, Jekyll, in the next couple of minutes, you got about a 7-minute window at Sea Island, and Jekyll Island, you got an 8-minute window before it starts to close in on St. Simons, out near the airport here, Brunswick, and those Golden Isles, and Dock Junction also in there. And then inside the Beltway, what were once just a bunch of showers have turned into a cluster of thunderstorms over near UNF, continuing out near the town center southward here as we move into areas near JTB and the southern part of the Beltway. So let's grab that and see if we can extend it out. There we go. Let's see what we can get put down there. So Spring Glen out near the South Metro area. Miramar Terrace, we'll see some of this. NAS Jacks as it crosses over the river and continues over to the west side. Riverside, that's the one that we were watching just a moment ago via the tower cam that's going to come through here in Riverside, Yukon, and Venetia. A little further to the south, Green Cove Springs, Thunder Road area, Penny Farm, seeing some of those downpours. And we've got a few of these pockets here as well. Let me put a fresh track on this one here since it's going to use the squall line. We'll try it one more time, and there we go. Now it should come out to what we want and give us some of those cities here that we'll see out near Flora Home and continuing into Keystone Heights. All of this is progressing from the east to the west. Palatka sitting right over top of you right now. So I've just switched the gears. This is the high resolution model. Note the heavy stuff around Brunswick, and then here's that line that continues showing us pushing inland and leaving the beaches, I won't say unscathed, but at least a little drier. So back to that view, the secondary system coming through. The first one that we were tracking would be this one. Look how dense that downpour is. That's knocking down the visibility there to the horizon. 83 degrees in Jacksonville, but it's still markedly different here and better for the viewing into the beaches as you continue with that onshore flow. East winds right now at 9. That will push those showers deeper into Jacksonville across the intercoastal and starting to flare them up right around I-95. Temperatures are actually starting to come down as we were warmer at 86 degrees. You can see with that shower now coming through along the north side and up by the airport, knocked us down by another 3. And with the eclipse taking place at the time where we would normally be heating up, where temperatures are going to top out in the 80s across the board. It's already warmer on the beaches, but what we'll see here will be temperatures closer to about 89 degrees. And after the sun comes back, those temperatures will rebound just a little bit. The 50-50 shots coming around. Best chance for viewing the beaches the next couple of days will dry things out. And then Thursday, Friday, and the upcoming weekend, we've got a nor'easter trying to settle in. It's going to kick up the breeze as well as those showers. It's also going to get bumpy on the beaches. We'll have more of that as we develop through the work week. Bruce and Nikki, back to you.
So this is pretty cool. 1983. One of the songs that topped the charts was Bonnie Tyler's
Total Eclipse of the Heart. Everybody knows that song.
Guess what? She is on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship right now. And as soon as that cruise ship gets to whatever area it's in and there's totality, you know what she's going to sing?
She's going to sing that song. I just hope that they have Wi-Fi capability so people are tweeting and posting about it so that we can share some of that with you during our special coverage.
But if she has clouds down there, then she's going to sing It's a Heartache, which was her other big hit. Let's hope not. Our special solar eclipse coverage continues.
We're going to have more reports from crews in the field. They are all over the country. The eclipse has already begun, and once again, we're bringing you special coverage from now until 4 p.m. Welcome back, everybody. This is Big Summit Prairie, Oregon, where the eclipse has already started. We're looking at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 18 seconds until we see almost the full eclipse here in the Jacksonville area.
Man, it's phenomenal to watch this astronomical event. History unfolding live before our eyes. The last time there was a solar eclipse in the U.S. was 1979, but this one covers more of the U.S. territory than we've seen in 100 years. Be right back with more Great American Eclipse coverage. People are gathering, eclipse parties going on at a number of places in Northeast Florida.
They certainly are. And Channel 4's Ashley Mitchum is in Fort Matanzas. How's the crowd there so far, Ashley?
It's definitely picked up. The event starts at 1 o'clock out here at Fort Matanzas. You can see probably about 50 or so people in the area ready for the program to start. So the park ranger is going to come out here and explain the solar eclipse. Of course, a lot of people, when they got out here, came for these glasses I want to show you here. They are perfect for this event. Of course, the only safe way to look at the sun is with glasses like these. Again, when you look through, all you can see is the sun. They are officially out of these, though, so if you plan to come down to Fort Matanzas for these, you're not going to get them. But should be fun out here. We have more on the solar eclipse coming up.
From the local station, News 4 Jax starts now.
Looking live in just a sec. Going to take you to South Carolina, Atlantic Beach, and Jacksonville's South Side. There you go, where people are gathering to watch the Great American Eclipse. Hey, good afternoon. You are watching a special hour-long edition of News 4 Jax at noon. And we're going to stay with you on the air through 4:30 this afternoon with live coverage of the Great American Eclipse.
So right now, we are 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 28 seconds. Now, this is until we see the almost totality here in the Jacksonville area. We're going to get around 90% here in Jacksonville. The eclipse has already started in Oregon, and it is going to you're going to start seeing changes here coming up in just a little less than 45 minutes in our Jacksonville area.
We have a number of crews around the area, including Scott Johnson, who's in Santee, South Carolina. Scott, you've met some real science buffs.
Yeah, Mark, I'm out, or Bruce, I'm out here. I'm sorry, we're getting in position because we're looking through all these very cool telescopes, and I can see a great sunspots in these things. Oh my goodness, it's just a big, perfect white ball because they're covering it with a foil, or actually, this is more of a protective covering. So. Illuminized mylar, I think is what he said. So there's a lot of people, not a ton of people out here, but a lot of the ones who are here have telescopes and very cool equipment to watch what is going up in the sky. So it has been a cool experience to sit here and watch it with these folks who say this is just a big day for them. Are you kind of a space junkie?
I belong to the Central Florida Astronomy Society.
Okay.
CFAS. And we've had a lot of discussions there.
So this has to be pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. My wife has no patience, so you have to realize you have to patience hours of waiting, you know.
Sometimes the spouses are just not into it. One thing one of these folks told me is it could be interesting. I want to see if it proves to be accurate. Is you'll see stars, maybe other planets, while the sun's light is blocked out. I can't wait to see that in a couple hours. We're going to send it back to you live in the studio, guys.
All right, and again, Picture you're looking at there on the right of your screen is from Oregon area. It looks like somebody took a big bite out of a Babel piece of cheese.
It does a little bit. You know, I've been watching social media. People in the Oregon area, they said that the traffic up until a couple of hours ago was really brutal. It was worse than a lot of them expected, and many of them were trying to get to a great location to see what we're able to look at now thanks to that NASA photo.
All right, we've been talking about the fact that the beaches is probably going to be your best bet. Hey, you park there along the sand and the dunes at the Lemon Bar, and you've got a party. That's where we find Channel 4's Francesca Amaker.
That's right, Bruce. So this is the party. This is probably one of the biggest parties in Jacksonville. Well, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, and they already have 230 people inside the Lemon Bar here. You can see the mist is spraying. They're passing out red tickets for anyone who is coming inside. And again, this is the Lemon Bar. Check this out. We were here for about an hour and a half now, and people were wrapped around this building. I mean, they were, look at them waving. People are just really excited. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime for some people event, and they are going to be having happy hour starting at 5 p.m. They're also passing out solar eclipse glasses from what we are seeing and hearing. And again, this is just a big party until the end of the night. So if you don't know where you're going to be going, make sure you come out here to the Lemon Bar. It's one of the best views, we are told, at least from our meteorologists, since we are on the coast here. And at 2:47, it should be a really good time for at least 2 minutes. I'll be back in about an hour, and I'll be talking to some folks about what jobs they're working that allow them to come out here in the middle of the day.
Right.
All right, I'm live at Neptune Beach. Francesca Amaker, Channel 4, the local station.
Beautiful spot, too.
It is, but Fran, you know, when we're looking towards the ocean, it looks really nice, but when she turned that camera around and you're looking back towards town, I mean, the skies were really looking really dark.
Yeah, it looked more to the north. There seemed to be clouds. Further south, the better off you were. Once again, the picture right there is Big Summit Prairie, Oregon. Check in with Channel 4's Vic Michelucci, who's over at UNF. They've got their own watch party going on, Vic.
Absolutely, and we've got our fingers crossed that the weather is going to be good. A lot of people doing the rain dance so that it stays away, so that these clouds part and show us the blue skies so that we can get the best view possible of that total eclipse. So we are here near the amphitheater, and they are setting up for a big party. It officially starts at 1:30. We've already got some professors and students and faculty members here. They've got telescopes. They're also going to be projecting a live feed of the totality up here at the amphitheater. A lot of students excited, people already lining up. So we're going to bring in Edith here. Edith is enrolling in the spring. She has been here for what, 2 hours now, a little while?
Yeah, since about 11:40 maybe.
Yeah, so you have been very patient sitting here on the steps, not worried about the weather, because you are determined to be number one in getting those free glasses here and getting a great view of the eclipse. Why is it so important to you?
It's something really cool to see, and it sounds like it happens a lot in the West Coast and not here, so it's something interesting to really see.
And is this something that you kind of looked forward to since you were a kid? Obviously, you probably have an affinity towards science.
Yeah, when I was in middle school, I loved astronomy, astrology, the constellations, and solar and lunar eclipse. Frankly, I keep missing lunar eclipses because I get tired, but this is something that I would actually be awake to see.
Good. Well, we're going to make sure that you don't get tired. We're going to make sure that you don't miss this one. And for the record, she was first here in line. It starts at 1:30. Thanks so much. Enjoy it. I appreciate it. Starts here at 1:30. And the question is, yes, it is open to the public. So if you want to come out here, maybe you're not a UNF student, faculty member, staff member, you can still come. Bring your family members. It's only $2 to park in one of the parking garages. And you can come out here not too far from the Student Union. You can watch that live feed on the projector. You can also get some free glasses while supplies last. So certainly not going to be enough glasses for the whole city to come out here, but while supplies last, they are going to be giving out those free viewing glasses. And we're going to be live here throughout the day, hopefully having some fun with the students and staff here at UNF. We're live on the south side. Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Vic. Just peeked over at the Live 5 radar. Don't like what I see coming from Julington Creek south and then east
and
to
it
95.
Yeah, and it didn't look good like over towards the Mayport area from when we could see Francesca's camera when she turned around because she's at the Lemon Bar at the beach. So, there definitely doesn't look good, Rich.
No, that's one heck of a downpour out near Garden Gate Drive. That's the Bartram Park Boulevard area. And then, as you guys mentioned, if you take Racetrack up to Julington Creek and even north and south, so Switzerland, Fruit Cove, you're going to get hit by that. Loretto into Mandarin, that continues up through Hood, Old St. Augustine Road along the south side. And it's just about encompassed all of the southeastern part of the Beltway here. So we're talking from around San Jose area, Alamaris Drive, southward along 13, San Jose to Scott Mill, and continues all the way around that 295 Beltway. But yet we look at the beaches here, and you see the light blue up around Mayport. That would be just the mist and drizzle. Where we're getting the better returns is where it starts to turn green. But the beaches right now, you just saw, as Nikki was pointing out with Francesca at Jack's Beach, we got a great view here as you're looking out at the view for the Lemon Bar. But as you look to the west, so you're looking back toward downtown, just numerous showers and storms, a little light shower activity possible for coastal St. Johns County as well. So we're not saying you're completely out of the realm of rain, but the better chances will be inland. That is, unless you're out near the Altamaha Sound, Sepulveda Island, Sea Island, or even southward through Cumberland. Numerous downpours continue. We'll track those and have the latest coming up for that wet weather arrival, or at least round 2 of the arrival, coming up in just about 10 minutes. It is about 20 minutes shy of 1 o'clock. Let's check in with Crystal and the roadways.
Well, with the solar eclipse, you're going to see some different driving conditions, especially between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. It will be a little darker outside, so don't drive with those eclipse glasses. Not safe, especially because it's going to be darker. You will not be able to see the roadway, so make sure you have those put away. Turn your headlights on so that you could see. A lot of those cars have automatic headlights. You want to do that manually because it's during the daytime. Your vehicle may not be able to recognize that it's dark enough. And you want to pay attention to the roadway. This is not the time to pull over, folks, and take a look at the eclipse because it's illegal, number one. Number two, it's unsafe. We're not only dealing with some of those conditions, but it's very wet out there, so you will see some delays, especially near the coast. A quick look at the DOT camera. This is the wet road that you're dealing with along Beach Boulevard, just west of St. John's Bluff. That was your Keith Pearson Toyota Time Saver Traffic.
All right, another view. This one's from, okay, I thought we had Haley, Idaho. This is actually Big Summit Prairie, Oregon, that we've been watching. It appears that the moon is about to, well, about half coverage is on its way at this point. And again, a reminder that what you see in there's Haley, Idaho. You can see that the eclipse hasn't progressed quite as much, so we're moving across the continent right now from west to east. 2 minutes, 6 seconds, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 30 seconds until what we'll see is 90% coverage here in Jacksonville.
And I've been looking at social media in Oregon and Idaho, and they said as soon as it started, that really like the traffic, the hour leading up to when it started in those two states was really, really, really crowded. So if you are going to be heading somewhere to watch this eclipse in the Jacksonville area, we suggest that as you were talking, you're hearing Crystal, just go ahead and go there now, because that way you're going to avoid some of the really big traffic jams that are possible because of this. And we'll be right back with more of this special coverage and the countdown to the total eclipse.
Great American Eclipse is on its way. One Western Kentucky town is pulling out all the stops, hosting events, live music, viewing parties, and of course, Kentucky bourbon. And
if that is not enough, the eclipse happens to fall on the anniversary of the alleged landing of the Little Green Men in that area. That was August 21st, 1995. Coincidence?
I think not.
Maybe not.
CNN's Karen Kaifa joins us live from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You and I talked this morning, and I said, this is like Woodstock meets bourbon meets aliens. Really?
That's a pretty good assessment of it, Bruce. And you can see behind me since we last spoke, that field is kind of filled in with more tents and more cars and more eclipse watchers. And as you mentioned, today, August 21st here in Hopkinsville, not only about this major once-in-a-lifetime eclipse opportunity, but also about another out-of-this-world event.
Usually the nickname is Hoptown, but right now, Mayor Carter Hendrick says this is Eclipseville, USA.
We officially proclaimed Hopkinsville to be Eclipseville, USA, August 18th through the 21st.
NASA tagged Hopkinsville, Kentucky as the closest town to the point of greatest eclipse about 10 years ago. Eclipse chasers made travel plans early.
Over a year and a half. We've had reservations and we knew of its upcoming and we've been so excited.
I got serious about a year ago. We started picking where, so we started looking at where the eclipse was going to be greatest and where it started, where it stopped. And we kind of picked here.
Adding to local eclipse buzz, a cosmic coincidence of sorts.
A lot of you have heard this probably 1,000 times now, but it never gets old.
This weekend, a festival commemorating another headline-grabbing event here. The night some locals arrived at the Hopkinsville police station, claiming they'd been surrounded for hours by out-of-this-world creatures. The date? August 21st, 1955. Believers say it was Little Green Men. Skeptics blame Kentucky moonshine. What's not in doubt? An eclipse boom for businesses here. solar swag to stretch memories beyond today's 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
A lot of people said, well, we can just stay in Ohio and see it. And I'm like, no, you're not going to see what we're going to see. I mean, and we're going to always remember this. Get ready. I mean, my mom and all of us are going to remember that we came here for this weekend to do this.
In Hopkinsville, Kentucky, I'm Karen Kafa.
And the Great American Eclipse is already underway. Take a look at Big Summit Prairie, Oregon, where eclipse watchers out west are getting their first taste of the big event. Of course, this one moving from west to east. Charleston, South Carolina will be among those last to see it. And here in Hopkinsville, we're kind of in the middle. And the point of first contact is actually almost upon us here in Hopkinsville. Totality expected for 1:24 local time, 2:24 Eastern. And here, that totality, that duration is pretty much the longest anyone in the country will see. So that's why these folks behind me are so excited, Bruce and Nikki.
And I've got to ask you, is there anybody that really thinks they may once again see 3-foot-tall little green men?
I don't know, Bruce. I went to the Little Green Men Festival over the weekend, and there were some believers telling people to look over their shoulders. You never know what might happen in that daytime darkness. So we're going to have to wait and see. Organizers in Hopkinsville were anticipating maybe as many as 100,000 people. I do not know if that tally includes Little Green Men, so stay tuned for that.
Karen, where are all these people staying? I'm assuming they don't have too many hotels in Hopkinsville. Are people cashing in on things like Airbnb?
You are absolutely right, Nikki. This is not a place with a lot of lodging opportunities. In fact, me and my crew, we're staying in Tennessee across the border. So the hotels that were available coming at a premium, we're talking about rates for about $600 a night if you could snag one. Airbnb, also another opportunity, but it's really the parking spots where people are looking to be the greatest entrepreneurs. As we drove up and down this 2-lane road, making our way back and forth between downtown Hopkinsville and here, we saw a lot of posters in lawns and on farmland advertising $35, $40, come and park for the day, a little bit more if you want to park overnight. So that's where the big bucks seem to be.
And you're a little north and west of us, you know, probably not far from the Cincinnati area. Give people some strategic idea. What time does the eclipse begin there in Hopkinsville?
Yeah, we're getting our point of first contact, Bruce, in just a few minutes. That's the very edge of it to Hopkinsville. And it's about 1:24 local time, 2:24 Eastern, where that totality will occur. 2 minutes and 40.1 seconds. So it is one of the longest periods in the country, beaten out only by a town outside of Carbondale, Illinois, which beats it by just fractions of a second. So here in Kentucky, we are not only just down the road from the point of greatest eclipse, which of course is that alignment of the sun and the moon of the earth, but getting the greatest duration as well. So pretty exciting stuff here for Hopkinsville. They have very much been looking forward to it, very much looking forward to welcoming the people who are here literally from around the world, Bruce and Nikki.
Karen Kaifa, thanks very much. Stay safe out there. Don't forget, protect your eyes when you look up at it, and everybody should as well. All right, another peek at what's going on eclipse-wise from NASA. This, I believe, would be the shot from Oregon. Given the amount of coverage, you can see we've got a crescent moon now.
Yeah, almost giving that perfect crescent shape. We're going to continue to watch the progress there. And you see the countdown clock until we see about 90% coverage here in the Jacksonville area. We'll be right back. All right, if you couldn't find any protective glasses just so you could watch the eclipse today, we are going to show you another way that you can still safely view it.
It's old school. You need a box, a white piece of paper, some tin foil and tape. Mark and Crystal show us how it's done.
It's even easier than that, Bruce. In fact, you don't even need a box. We can take a white piece of paper and a mirror, right? This is a great way to protect your eyes by showing the shadow on the ground or on the building. All you're doing is cutting a hole in the middle of this white piece of paper. You put some tape on the back, and then you actually tape it to the mirror. And the way this is going to work is the sunlight hits this little circular piece of mirror, and you can aim the reflection down towards the ground and see the shape. You can see the crescent on the sidewalk.
So this is good for a group of people.
As a group, because the further away you get back to a wall, you can actually make that shadow look even bigger on the wall. So a whole group can see. But what if you just want to get your own personalized projector?
Well, if you want to just make one for yourself, maybe for your kids in a fun way, you can use a moon pie box. You can use a pizza box, any kind of box that you can find. And as Mark was mentioning, you want to use the long side. So you're going to cut 2 squares, which I've already done. Flop, flop, there you go. So you're going to cut 2 squares and you're going to glue, tape the foil onto 1 square. So you have it taped, you have the other square empty. And then on the back of the box, you'll want to put a piece of paper back there, and that's what the projection is going to show on. So in the end, you're going to poke a hole, a tiny hole, and it's going to look like this. A tiny hole in the back of the box. Your back will be facing the sun will come through the hole, and you'll be able to see the projection through the box. So you don't have to put your eye in it, you'll be able to see it pretty well from here. So this is a good way to protect your eyes from everyday items that you have at home.
Right, so the best thing, of course, are these aluminized Mylar film sunglasses, right? You won't be able to see anything, so you don't drive with them, obviously. But basically, if you don't have this, please don't double up sunglasses. Don't use X-ray transparency film. There are a lot of gimmicks out there that people have used, but your eye doesn't have those nerves on the back of your retina.
Right.
So you'll be able to look at the sun and it doesn't feel like it's hurting, and you won't feel the pain or see any problems until 2 to 3 hours afterwards, right?
We've heard so many stories about this. So just make sure you head to our website, news4jax.com/eclipse. We have all of these tips on there. You can see how to make your own pinhole projector right on our website. Bruce, Nikki?
You know, I should probably point out, as you're going out to those watch parties, you may find people selling what they claim to be legit eclipse sunglasses. The thing you can do to test them is, in the house, put them on. If everything is totally dark, you go to step 2. Step 2 is to go outside and look skyward up toward the sun. If it looks like a black circle, then they're good to go. And it should have that ISO stamp in it, though some of the counterfeits have it as well. Got to be careful because your eyesight is at stake here.
Absolutely. All right, so before we go, we have 4 things that you need to know about today's solar eclipse. First, as we were just talking about, don't stare at it without the proper protective eyewear. You can do some permanent damage to your eyes if you do that.
In Jacksonville, the eclipse starts at 1:16, so we're talking 21 minutes from now. The peak comes an hour and 51 minutes at 2:46.
After today, the next eclipse in the U.S. is going to happen on April 8th, 2024. You're going to buy them for that. Rich said he's buying those now. And you can also watch our eclipse special. It kicks off in just a few minutes from now.
All right, take a look at Big Summit, Oregon right now. And again, the thing that makes this so special is the fact that this one is seen coast to coast. And that's why we've not seen this in almost 100 years. Yeah, there was a solar eclipse back in 1979, but you didn't have as much totality as you do now in 2017. You know, it's just phenomenal to watch this progression here. So we go a little further east now to Haley, Idaho.
Yeah, and you know, what I'm doing is looking at social media and seeing how the people in these areas are posting. Many of them got up super early this morning just so they could be in an open area and see in person what we're seeing now on television. So once again, Haley, Idaho, a little bit further behind what we're seeing in Big Prairie, Oregon. We have 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 22 seconds until we're going to see the largest blockout of the sun here in the Jacksonville area. We're going to get about 90%. And Richard was saying, Bruce, that really it looks like the best place to view it here is going to be at the beach.
It certainly will be. We'll keep you posted on that throughout the course of the next couple of hours when our Great American Eclipse special begins. And that's going to happen right after the break. To everybody out there who's enjoying this, please be safe. And for the kids who we talked to this morning, they said, you know what? This is something we're so excited about because we want to be able to tell our kids and our grandkids.
We'll be right back as our special coverage of the countdown to the total eclipse continues.
See why every day more people are choosing News 4 Jax, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.